let's.
Hey guys, welcome to Tuesday Notary Titans. Today is November 26th. I hope you guys are all getting all your Thanksgiving stuff ready and families are coming in and all that exciting stuff that happens around Thanksgiving time. I just want to take a quick moment and wish you all a wonderful Thanksgiving. My name is Jen Neitzel. I am the creator of Marketing for Notaries, and I am here with the fabulous Laura Biewer. Hi, Laura.
Good afternoon, everyone. So glad that we can get together today.
Absolutely, especially during a holiday week. It's just something
Yeah.
special about that. Laura, as you know, is the creator of Coach Me Laura and Laura Biewer Presents. And, it's just widely referred to as the GOAT in our industry. No biggie, right? So you guys today have Laura on the phone, myself on the phone, and we are here to answer any of your notary questions. If this is your first time attending Tuesday Notary Titans, welcome. We are happy that you're here. Keep coming back. We want to get to know you better. To that point, if you are able to turn your cameras on, we would love to see you guys. That helps us to get to know you a little better. And helps us see your reaction as we're talking about things. If you can't turn your camera on, it's no big deal. We understand. And of course, especially if you're driving or something like that, safety comes first. So let me explain how this call works. Kind of like an old-fashioned radio call-in show where you call in and ask those questions like Delilah, right? In the evenings, you have to raise your virtual hand, though. You're going to find that at the bottom of your Zoom screen. It's either under reactions or it's under more. And that's the only places I know to find it. It keeps moving on me too. Dig around in there, you'll find that raise hand feature, and that's going to get you in line to have your questions answered. And guys, nothing's off limits here. We can talk about anything having to do with you being a notary or your notary business. But while you guys are all getting those hands raised up and everybody's getting in the call and comfortable, I'm going to start the way I always do with some announcements. And the first thing is a reminder that we have a new feature on this call. It is a form that you can fill out to ask your question on TNT. I know not everybody's comfortable raising their hand. However, I want you to use this format, TNT, as practice for getting comfortable talking to other people, right? That's great for your business. But if you just can't think about raising your hand right now, we have a new feature for you to submit your questions to TNT. The link is in the chat. Please note, don't put anything on there that you need an immediate answer for. It is just for TNT questions. The next announcement is a free goal. Yes, I said free goal setting workshop on December 14th from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Pacific time. It is being hosted by the one and only Jen Cooper with JKC Mobile Notary. You guys all know Jen. Say hi, Jen.
Maybe I should unmute. Hi, everybody. Go
You guys
sign up. I can't wait to see you there. It'll be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun goal planning workshop as you're looking ahead to 2025. I highly encourage you to check this workshop out. Get yourself registered. It comes with a workbook and a chance to win Wendy Diem's 2025 Notary Planner, that really big, thick, cool one. So get yourself registered for that at the link in the chat. And I'm so excited to tell you guys, this is my last announcement. I'm so excited to tell you guys about this. You know that over the last couple of weeks, Bill Soroka has been sort of moving his community over to the new school platform. And I have been doing the same. So Marketing for Notaries is now being hosted on the school platform. It's so cool, you guys. Check out the link in the chat. And because it's a new system and because Black Friday is coming and Cyber Monday is coming and, all those sale things are happening, I'm doing something a little crazy. Don't tell anybody until tomorrow when I officially announce it. But right now, the only option for buying membership to Marketing for Notaries is annually. And it's for $124, you guys, for the whole year. That's 7 months for free. I'm redoing everything. And I am making this your go-to place for marketing specific support, because it is the one thing that you need in your business to keep you growing and keep that prospect list and that client list growing and to meet more people. So go check it out. The link's in the chat. And right now we're announcing this officially tomorrow, but right now we're having our Black Friday, Cyber Monday sale for $124 annually. It's normally $189, which is 4 months free, but now you're getting 7. All right. Sorry, I'm a little excited about that. Can you tell, Laura?
Yeah.
I've been working so hard. All right, guys, who has a question for us? Please raise your virtual hands. Everybody's going to go quiet on us again today, Laura. There's Cynthia. She had her hand up. Hi,
Hey.
Cynthia in Montana. It's good to see you.
Hello,
Your
thank you.
question today.
I'm asking a lot of questions these days. I won't take up oxygen every single time, but,
No,
but
we
I'm
want you to
launching my
ask
business in
questions.
January, right? So I wanted wisdom from, obviously yourself and Laura, but also from the group about rolling out, I have the things that I do that I feel like I will be confident and competent in terms of the technical things about being a notary and things that I can step out to begin with. And then I'm going to add things later.
Mhm.
Do people put like on the website, do the people put coming soon on right? But I wondered if that would make me look like, oh, right, it's coming soon. She's studying it. She's going to be a rank beginner when she starts. No? Okay.
In my opinion, Cynthia, and of course,
Yeah.
I will, Laura will answer as well. I don't think that that's what people think. I think you're overthinking it a little bit
Okay.
because you know the reality of what's going on, right? I'm an overthinker too.
Yeah.
That's why I recognize that. But no, it's just saying that you're adding that service soon
Right.
and just haven't done it yet. Laura, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, just that it's specific to what's coming soon. So if you're listing services you're doing now, great. And then coming soon, we will be adding fingerprinting, we'll be adding apostille, we'll be adding whatever.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you.
No issue with that at all. You said you had some other questions. I don't want you to worry about taking up oxygen. Everybody else, feel free to raise your hand to get in line. Until then, Cynthia, you're basically having a private coaching session with Laura and I. So what else do you have for us?
That was the main thing that was on my mind right now. I mean, I'm in that flurry of, doing everything to launch, trying to do everything I can to launch and not losing sight of, I'm practicing and making my family members be clients and
What a great
putting them
idea.
through that, and using a little owl stamp I have to pretend it's my notary stamp and, just trying to go through somatically and intellectually, trying to go through everything so that I am actually a competent notary and getting all this done. So thank you for your help.
Absolutely. And if I could, you didn't ask, but you were talking about launching in January. I want you, and you said you're an overthinker too, Cynthia. So I'm just throwing this in from my own experience.
Yeah.
Don't wait until the website's perfect. It's never going to be perfect. It's always going to evolve. Don't wait till your business card is perfect. It's always going to evolve, right? Those things that we think of as, oh, I need to get my website out. We think of that as like, get it out and it's done. That's kind of not how it works. Things, like you said, you add new services, you learn new things. You want to add that to your space. So it's launching a business, giving yourself a date like you are. It's kind of like having a baby. You're never going to be fully ready.
Right. Yes.
You're never going to be 100% ready, right, Laura?
Yeah, absolutely. And the motto I have is progress over perfection. When is that a good way to go? Every time. Every time. When's the best time? Now. Whatever it is. So same thing. If you put your business cards together, but you're not sure they're really what you're going to go long term, don't order 1,000.
Yeah.
Right. So just order a smaller amount you can start with. So then it's not too big an investment when you need to make changes to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you so much for that reminder. I mean, I have been like, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's not going to be perfect,
Right.
you know, just move forward and so forth, and telling myself that. But it's great to have you two telling me that too. So it's not just in my head. So thank you.
Well, thank you for being open to hearing that, Cynthia, and for your question. I appreciate
Absolutely.
it. Trudella Harper has a question for us. Trudella, tell us where you are calling in from. You're on mute.
Hi, sorry about that. Thanks. I am from Maryland. I'm in the DMV area, right outside of DC.
Nice to meet you.
And you as well. Thank you. I've gotten a lot of good information from this call. So my question is, I still have not done my first signing yet. But I wanted to know about taking payments. So how do most notaries take payments? I know it's expected at the time. Let's say you have a client who wants you to do a power of attorney or just or whatever, and I know the payment is expected at that time. So can I just have like a cash app on my phone or a Venmo or PayPal or something on my phone? So what is the most common way or best way to take payments?
Sure. Laura, do you want to start this one?
Yeah, every way that's possible. Create less friction for your client. If they want to pay me in cash, I got a receipt book for that. If they want to pay me by credit card, I have either Stripe or Square. If they want to pay me via Zelle, I've got that app. So if they want to pay me by check, that's for business. I take check options for business, but that's the one option I don't for the private, just because I've been burned on those. But every other option that they might want to pay with, you might want to have the option. Now, I always say, I start with my preference. My preference is cash and Zelle, because there isn't any fees coming out of that. I also
Okay.
take credit card, right? Then I say, I also take this, I also take that. So I let them know all of them, but I always start with what's my preference.
Okay.
Great advice. I have nothing to add except this, and I believe she's on a call right now, but one of our original TNTers, Celicia Young-Jones in Florida, has this saying, and it's make it easy for people to give you money.
Yeah.
And she heard me. So I love that because we do have like a limiting belief. How should I just do credit cards? Should I just do checks? And people are going to pay you in different ways. The only thing I would tell you is just to consider not doing paper checks from the public. And there's plenty of other ways that they can pay you, and sign up for all of them, girl, so that it's easy for them to give you money.
That's for sure.
Okay.
And
All right, great. Thank you.
You got it. And you've got some suggestions in the chat too, Trudella, if you want to check that out. Check those
Okay.
out, and read those.
Oh, thank you. Yes.
Make it
I see
easy for
those.
people to
Okay.
give you money. All
All
right.
right.
Thanks.
Yes.
And let's see, Kareen, hi. Look at Kareen here today. How are you doing?
Good afternoon. I'm always here, but on the quieter side, still learning. Thank you for having
Kareen
me.
is calling us from Florida. Kareen's one of my coaching clients. Yay. Kareen,
And you're awesome.
what's your question today?
For the new school platform that you launched, do I have to sign up on it, or I automatically become a member? The fact that I'm a member of the Marketing for Notaries.
Great question. Thank you for asking. You are already a member of Marketing for Notaries, so I added you into the system yesterday. You should have gotten an email, and this applies to anybody that is a Marketing for Notaries member. You should have gotten an email from school, SKOOL, and it will give you a special code to log on, so that when you get on to see the videos and the learning system, because we've gamified everything, we've got prizes and stuff we're doing that I'm launching in January. That email is going to show you, Kareen, exactly what you need to do to get logged on, and you will then have access to everything. The
Awesome.
videos on the website are still there. They're going to stay up there till January 31st, because I want you to still be able to log on and watch them. And
Mhm.
I know it takes some time for people to convert to a new system. So I wanted to give everybody as much time as reasonably necessary to make that happen. Thank you for asking that.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Laura, while we are waiting for everybody to get their hands raised and ask the goat herself questions, why don't you tell us how people can connect with you outside of this call?
Great. Yeah. If you want to have a call similar to this, but smaller and more in depth, that call is called Laura's Inner Circle. It's Saturday mornings at 8 a.m. Pacific time. It is a free call, and you just need to go to my website, coachmelaura.com, give me your email address, and you'll get the link. I don't change it, so hold on to it. That's one way. The other way is if you need a private conversation because you have an idea or a specific question, you can book a strategy call with me. And that's going to be the Calendly/my last name. And then you can see my calendar and you can book a 15-minute call. And that's for a very specific issue. That wouldn't be, hey, how do I get my business started? That's too big a question. This is a 15-minute call to give you direction. And either I give it to you or I'll connect you with a resource where you can get that information. So those are the two main ways right now, besides TNT, that you can get a hold of me.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Laura. I know if you guys have the ability to connect with Laura on any level, I encourage you to do it. She's a wealth of information. Martha in Arizona has her hand up. Hi, Martha. It's nice to see you.
Hi, I'm driving.
Hi.
How are you? I have a question. So I got a call from somebody that wanted a will signed, but I asked her, okay, so what is this, power of attorney, etc. She said, I'll send you a picture of it. It was just a blank piece of paper. They wrote out everything. It was not an official anything. It was just a blank piece of paper saying, I so and so want to do this, and this. How do I notarize that? Do I attach? I mean, do I use witnesses? I was not sure.
Laura?
Well, so if I understand, you've got a client who says, I've got a last will, and what she
Yes.
sent over is a picture of a handwritten note, basically. Is that
Yes,
correct?
it was
Yeah.
like a folded paper with her for her and one for her husband.
Okay, and it just stated some things they wanted to have happen, and they're going to be signing it. So
Yes.
a last will in Arizona requires two witnesses, just like California, not notarization at all. So getting their signature notarized will not make it valid. They must have two witnesses. Now, after the two witnesses, and you know what? If they wrote their wills that way, we're not the will police. I don't know if that's going to work for them or not. That's not our job. I don't know if that's going to work for them or not. That's not our job. Ooh, what happened there?
Oh, you repeated.
No,
Yeah, I
it was
know.
for somebody else popped up. I got him.
Okay. So what I do know is that notarizing will not do anything for them. They will need just two witnesses. These are lay witnesses. They don't have to have any special qualifications. Now that will meet the requirement for the state in terms of the execution of that document. Now, if they want an affidavit to be signed by those witnesses and notarized, that those were real people that appeared with their name and addresses and all of that, you can notarize that. That's an additional statement that they would need to provide you. And that typically is notarized with the jurat, and the witnesses will swear that, yes, that person's over 18, they're alert and aware, nobody's forcing them to sign it. And so that would be the process. Really, we can't give any more direction than that. That's just execution that we know about. So she really doesn't need you. She just needs 2 witnesses. That's really all she needs.
Okay.
Sounds like
Okay.
one of those cases where somebody, has happened to me a few times, Martha, where the general public thinks that notarization makes a document legal. So yeah, you just need to explain your state rules to them. So great question though. Thank you so much for bringing that up. And it was good seeing you.
Thank you.
Okay, Sharonda Bell, tell us where you're calling from and what your question is.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm calling from Georgia and I wanted to know some websites to add your notary service on.
Websites to add your notary service
Sure.
on. Do you mean directories
Yeah,
that are specific to notaries?
Yes.
directories.
Laura?
Yes,
Yeah, if you
directories,
are, if you're doing everything but loan signing, all of that other stuff, I recommend findanotary.com, which is a directory for notaries nationally. So that includes Georgia. There's another one is trying to think who has really good. Well, I'll come back to that. That's right now has the best SEO that I'm seeing. Are you doing loan signing work?
The only time I've done loan signing work was when a lawyer was able to be able to you know, document that I was just doing it because of them,
So
on
Georgia,
their behalf.
that's okay, Sharonda. Georgia's an attorney state, and that means loan signing work is a little different than everything else that you do as a notary. And so you can use directories like notaryrotary.com because if they used it, that's how they would find you. But really, there's going to be a bigger emphasis for you to build relationships with real estate attorneys because that's who's doing the work and they control who's going to be the notary. Sometimes a signing service will be contacted to get the notary. So that's another alternative is to sign up with signing services. But I'm going to tell you, in your state, particularly for loan signings, I would be working on building relationships with attorneys and finding out where are they? Do they belong to certain networking groups? Do they hold any open meetings? I would be looking at that. And there are several people very involved. Samantha Smith is one, but she's now moved to another state. I think she moved to Indiana.
She's
So
in Indiana.
Huh? Yeah.
Yeah, she's in Indiana now.
She's in Indiana now. But she had a lot of great information about how to connect that way. For everything that's not loan signings, then you don't have to worry about the attorney part. That's just for the real estate stuff, loan documents. Jen, do you have any other directories besides findanotary.com for?
Well, I'm the wrong person to ask. And Sharonda, I'll be honest with you. I'm not a big directory person, right? Like, I mean, I know they're necessary. But I'm, my whole business is teaching notaries how to interact with humans and build relationships because that's how you sustain your business. And keep it going over the years is through those relationships. So I think the ones that Laura listed are great. And
well, and there's one other thing that's not a directory, but do you have a Google business profile? So it's easy for people to find you.
I haven't did that yet.
I do that first. Before you pay for the directory, you need to, they're free. Get onto Google profile, start creating it, optimize it. That is going to get you your local business, really. And then that Find a Notary, which does cost us, not a free listing, can be helpful to you. But if you haven't even done the Google business listing, do that first.
Absolutely. 1000%. And it's free to set that up, Sharonda.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's Google Business?
Google Business Profile. Jen Cooper, would you mind putting Jim's class link for GBP in the chat so that Sharonda can look at that training? Laura and I both, Sharonda, highly recommend Jim's Google Business Profile training. If you are unfamiliar with how it works, I strongly encourage you to check out or encourage you to invest in that particular training. It will be very beneficial to you. But let me ask you, what's the first thing you do when you want to go like try a new restaurant, or you want to, you're looking for a new dry cleaner? You go to Google probably, right?
Right. Yep.
And that's why people looking for notaries, they Google notary near me. And that right there is going to be your most important thing. And it's not just a set it and forget it kind of tool. It's something you develop over time. And that's why I'm recommending the classes with Jim Allen for you. So he can truly teach you how to optimize that.
Okay.
Because it's the posting is free, the training isn't. The posting is free, but it's the most powerful thing you can do online, even before a website, in my opinion.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Yeah,
Does
because
that
I was
help?
on the Notary Rotary, and that's how I got a lot of my business through Notary Rotary.
Mhm.
And
Are you
but I
not getting
just want
this from them anymore?
not as much. I was getting a lot from them, but not as much now.
But of course, that's loan signing business primarily.
But I've gotten a lot of calls through
Right,
them.
but for a long time, that business has been slow, so they didn't have as much to put forward to you. But
Yeah.
it's ticking up. So I expect that to be coming back and that you will see more from them. So I just renewed mine. I that directory listing, but I'd be spending my time that Google profile. Even I went through the class and I didn't have photos. Now I've got photos of hospitals I go to. I have optimized it. And when you do that, I get work all day long from that.
Okay. And do you have Laura, a program or something?
Not for, I won't be able to teach you the Google business. You're going to want to hit Jim Allen for that. But if you want to call me and do the Calendly / my last name Biewer, get on my calendar so we can have a strategy call. Then we can talk about all the resources either I have or who I could point you to.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
That'd be great.
And it's in the chat for you.
Okay.
Thanks so much, Sharonda, for your question.
Yes, for a long time I was with Carol from
Carol
Notary.
Ray. We worked
together
for a long time.
Yeah, she was great.
And they have a
Thank
brand
you.
new directory, by the way, Sharonda. If you're a graduate, I just saw the email. Notary to Pro is developing their own directory, and it's free to graduates.
Okay, I'll check it out. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for that question, Sharonda. And Rochelle, did I say that? Is it Rochelle?
Rachel.
Rachel, sorry.
Rachel.
I try. Rachel, tell us where you're calling from and what your question.
I'm calling from Orange County, California.
Nice to meet you.
And so I called on one of Laura's Saturday meetings to ask about a name change. So I recently got married in August, and I think I called earlier another TNT as well to ask about the process.
Yes, I remember this.
Sort of a update, I guess, but also kind of a plug for the NNA. I had sent in my change of name form to the Secretary of State, and when it came back, they had spelled my name incorrectly.
Right.
So I had to call them again and try and get that changed, and that was surprisingly quick. I had to wait on hold for a while, but as soon as I did get a hold of somebody, that was really fast, courteous service through the Secretary of State's phone line. Then they had to resend me the amended commission. When I got that, I called the NNA this morning. Also very fast, very courteous, but since I'd kind of done everything through the NNA, I got my bond, I had my E&O through the NNA, they were able to make all of those sweeping changes for me, as well as get my stamps ordered. And so I did all that in one fell swoop, probably maybe 20 to 30 minutes of my time. So that's been the process so far. I mean, there's still stuff I need to mail in and waiting on stuff
Yeah.
to come back to me, but doing everything through the NNA has just made this almost completely seamless, even with the little hiccup through the state.
I'm glad
That's
to hear that. I'm glad to
Yeah.
hear it. And it is good when you have an organization that can take you from the front end, from training and fingerprinting, all the way through supplies and insurance and all of that in one place. So
Yeah,
I'm
this would
glad
be
to
so
hear
much
it.
more confusing if I had to individually call
Right.
whoever, issued my bond, issued my insurance, and
Mhm.
yeah, NNA completely handled all of that with the name change. So
Yay.
yeah,
Great.
so that's again, haven't completely finished everything yet, but so far the process has
Got there.
been really, really, really smooth. And yeah, I'm just hoping
Okay.
that other people have the similar experience, or if you're having trouble somewhere else, maybe consider NNA.
Thank you so much for sharing that update with us. I remember you telling us about that. It's been a couple of months, so or several weeks. I could not agree more, Rachel. The National Notary Association, if you guys are not members, why? You absolutely should be. That hotline alone, oh my gosh, is absolutely completely worth it. Wouldn't you agree, Laura?
Yeah, absolutely, guys. If many of you probably know, I teach 5 to 6 seminars a month for the National Notary Association in Central and Northern California. And because of that, I am on the inside of what they do, and really everything they do are all the touch points of a notary, including ongoing support of that notary for the 4-year commission. So I'm not going to say that they're the cheapest. They're not. But I will say this, if something happens to your seal, they'll replace it for free.
Yeah.
All right. If you've got problems with this process, we've got a convoluted process in California, they're going to help you know what comes next and take care of changing or amending anything that has to happen. So it's your one-stop shop, truly. And that's who I use.
I do too. And while you were telling us that, Rachel and Laura, while you were talking, I had a notary DMing me a private message about some initial training. Always start with the National Notary Association and your Secretary of State. You got to learn your rules. But the National Notary Association, from before you have your stamp until you're a 20+ year veteran like Laura, and everywhere in between, they are there to help and support you along the way. So I cannot say enough how much you should participate in that organization. So thanks for that reminder, Rachel. I'm so glad things are working out for you. Let's go to Celicia in Florida. Celicia is the one with the quote, "Make it easy for everybody to pay you." Celicia, what's your question today?
Always make it easy for people to give you money. That is
That's
a
right.
rude statement. So, we were talking about the directories and everything a minute ago, and I got a new headshot the other day, and so I was just going in and updating, 123 Notary and Notary Cafe, and find a notary and all. Well, honey, I asked this gal this morning. I said, so she calls me this morning for a loan signing tomorrow, and I said, and I always ask, so how did you find me?
Always ask.
Always ask.
Always ask. Notary Rotary. Honey, I hadn't done anything on Notary Rotary in forever. But I went on there, clicked, and just simply updated my photo. So go into your, it's kind of like Google Business Profile. If you keep it alive, put something fresh up there, put an update up there, put a fresh photo up there, put some pictures.
Yeah.
And it shows the world that you're alive and you're there and you're actually doing stuff. So, set yourself a little calendar reminder that, every 10 days to go in and just, change a period, move a comma, do something so that it updates and will pull you to the top. The other gal that was talking about Nextdoor is a free place. Yelp is a free place. However, never pay Yelp. Yelp is a free place. And Yelp, when you have a Yelp profile, Bing and Yahoo search pulls from Yelp to get all of those photos and all of that information, much like your Google business profile. So that was just a little tidbit I wanted to say, and happy Thanksgiving, of course.
Yeah, thank you, Celicia, for sharing that. Happy Thanksgiving to you. The algorithm does work with, pushing people up to the top when they're active. And that's also kind of why we were saying, with Google Business Profile, with anything, you can't just set it and forget it. or you're never going to make your way to the top of the listings when people start searching for you. You've got to take the time and be active in those things. So thank you for that reminder, Celicia. I appreciate that. Miss Melissa out in California, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Doing
Oh, it's
great.
raining over here finally.
What's your question?
Can you hear
for
me?
us? Yeah, I can.
Okay. Speaking of notary rotary, that I did that too, but they sent me something saying to go manipulate your site. Anyways, I just got something, but I'm not sure what it means. An offer. It says they need 2 bonds notarized for 2 commissioners.
2 what?
I'm not sure what that is.
Can you read
2
that again?
bonds notarized. 2 bonds notarized for 2 commissioners.
Okay, so they have to have a bond and you're going to notarize the bonds. They're going to sign it, just like many different public officials have bonds. And just like you have a bond, Melissa, so you had to have that, and it was signed by you when you took your oath and filed your bond, right? And that was done by probably the county. That might have been done by the county recorder, or it could have been done at the company, because I think it's pre-notarized by the company who sold the bond. So if they're asking you to come and notarize it, it means they're signing a bond, and there's going to be a notary certificate for you to fill out.
Okay, great. I was thinking, do they mean commission, like a notary needs it, or
Commissioner does
commissioners?
not
I
mean
wasn't
a
sure, but
commission.
okay. All right, cool.
It's
I
a
got
job.
it. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Melissa, for the question. Michael in Chicago, how are you today?
I am well. How are you guys today?
Fabulous. What's your question?
Hopefully it's a short and sweet question. So last year when I first got my commission, I signed up with NAA and did the loan signing, training, and certification. I just got a message that that has expired. Do I need to redo the training and redo the testing for that? Or how does that work?
So if you're NSA, you are NSA certified through the NNA.
Yes.
Yeah, every year you must retake a background screening.
Okay.
And that's just for that part of it. And then you may, if you want the certification to be extended, you can go in, take the class and the exam. And there's whatever their fee is for that. And I did it just a couple months ago. And the background check took, I don't know, 3 or 4 days. It was a very fast turnaround. It's basically on your driving record. It's not like the kind we have in California that's on everything.
Understood. So I should have the expectation that every time that it comes up to expiration, I should retake the test for that.
Yeah, if you want to keep that. And, you know, they start reminding you soon. Don't be doing it until you're 30 days in front of expiration, or you'll keep moving that month up, and pretty soon you lost a whole year.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Great question, Michael. Thank you. Yeah, you gotta get that recert every year. Laura, let's take a question from our TNT form, our question form. Are you up for that?
Sure.
All right, let me go over here and scroll down here. Okay, this question says, if I am notarizing the signatures of the principal and 2 witnesses on a will for a customer unknown to me, can I use my mom and husband as witnesses? I know I can't notarize them if they are principal on a document, but I'm curious if I can, if they are witnesses to a will signing.
So witnesses, whether it's a will signing or any other signing, need to be impartial. And if they don't know the people, they're not part of the document, they're not benefiting, it doesn't matter that they're your mom and your dad. That was convenience. I use my son sometimes to come and witness documents for me. So there shouldn't be any issue with that.
That sounds fantastic. Of course, the goat herself knows the rules. Does anybody else have any questions for us? Everybody went quiet again, Laura.
I know. Well, I can handle some.
Do you have some questions you wanted to bring up?
I do.
You said you had a few you wanted to talk about.
So some of you who know me have have my cell phone probably on speed dial. And so you'll call me at the table. And I thought I would share a couple of them with the group because it's a common question that I get. And it has to do with names and name variation. So let me start with one. One of them is, it was a specific document, it was a deed. And the ID did not have the middle initial, but the deed, the way she took title did. So it was requiring her first name, middle initial, and last name. And so the notary was asking, do I use the name in the certificate as what I see on her ID? Or do I use how she's named in the document? And I want you to know, we always go to the document. On a deed, we have to match how they took title. Now, if the ID presented isn't supporting it, then you're going to have your signer support it with another ID, credible witnesses, however you can do that to support the name on the document. If we don't do that, that document has a high chance for rejection when it gets to the recorder's office, because they're going to check the name vested, and then they're going to check the signature line, and then they're going to check your certificate, and it needs to match in all three places. So I just want to make you aware with recordable documents. So that's deeds of trust and quitclaim deeds and interspousal deeds and grant deeds, deeds that you'll find in trusts as well as loan signing appointments. We need to match the document, and the onus is on the notary to get that signer to provide enough ID for you to feel that it's reasonable they're the same person. So the question is, do I go the ID? Do I go the document? You need to go with the document. So the other one was also ID. This one was the loan documents had, I'll just say it was Jose, and his name on his ID was Jose Rodriguez Gonzalez. But on the document, it was Jose Gonzalez Rodriguez. The last names got flipped on the documents. It was correct on the ID. And they wanted her to use it, sign how it was on the document. The answer is no, that's not his name. He said that's not his name. His ID doesn't say that's his name. He has not satisfactorily proven who he is. So the platform, because this was an RON signing, the platform gave her pushback and said she should have just done it. The platform's a vendor to you. They are not the people giving you notary instructions, even if they are a notary themselves, which they were, by the way. They just wanted to get it done. And the responsibility is with the notary in the chair, not all the other notaries out there in the world. So this person did the right thing by saying no. It has to be, you got to flip it to match the ID, because that is his correct name. And sure enough, the next day they called her back, they redrew the documents, and it's correct. So see, they were just trying to push it through. And sometimes we just have to stand our ground.
Yeah, we do. That's
So
confidence in yourself and
just
in what
know.
you've learned and in your business. And that, of course, takes time to develop. But as someone myself who worked in the mortgage industry, Laura, for an eternity, it felt like an eternity. I can tell you, especially with Hispanic names, they often get reversed like that, because white people don't understand the way Latin people set up a longer name, right? We're used to first, middle, last, not hyphenates and all those kinds of things. Just being honest. So that happens frequently.
It does.
With folks that have multiple last names like that. So I'm glad you brought that up, because that's so important. A good thing to remember. So Joanne has a question for us. Joanne's in Washington State. Hey, Joanne.
Hey, Jen. So along the names, has anyone seen a driver's license that has, and it was a Spanish person name? It's their first and last, no, first and middle in the driver's license that was typed, but they signed, and I don't know why our DOL allowed this, they signed with their third name. Does anyone experience that? And I had to ask her to get but she had other passports like from Ecuador that had the third name.
So you're saying her ID had her first and middle name and no last name, but she signed with the first and last name?
She signed with all 3 names.
Okay, but was the other name on the ID? That's what I'm trying to understand.
No. So for instance, it was like Lena Gutierrez, but then she was allowed to sign it Lena Gutierrez Hernandez.
So her signature had all 3 names on the ID
Correct.
card, but it wasn't printed that way.
Correct.
So as a notary, you're going to have to make that decision. She had it on there. I don't know. I see all kinds of variations. People don't sign their driver's license the way the given name is printed out. That is constant, that I see that. And you're going to have to decide, do you have enough information to reasonably say this is that person? And if you don't, then you're going to ask, do you have anything else that does have it that's been typed in as part of the formal layout of that card? And then you're going to have to make a decision, because your law in Washington doesn't say name match. It doesn't say the card has to match. It says satisfactory evidence. It says reasonable reliance. There's a lot of phrases they use. And that means I do have some discretion, but if I use that discretion, then I better be able to support why I did it. Meaning the variation was very minor, or because they were able to present me with something else, or because I went to credible witnesses instead. But I will tell you myself, when it's a last name, I don't mess around with last names. Variation, middle name, yeah, I probably mess around with that. Shortening of a first name, yeah, I'm going to let that go. But when it is involving the last name and it did not get included in the ID, was the middle name in the middle name field, or was it in the last name field?
The middle name was in the last name field.
So it looked like that name was the last name.
Right. And oftentimes, because I've dealt with, in the Spanish world,
Yeah,
they always have this extra ID. For instance, Ecuador, they'll have their passport and their ID that has the extra name, but then in their US passport, they don't. But I've never seen that in terms of, the DOL allowing the third name to be signed, but they didn't type it in.
You know what? It just happened. There are human beings that are creating ID cards. They make mistakes like the rest of us. So I'm sure it happens. I bet that's the only time it has happened. As a matter of fact, a lot of times they can't even read what the signature is, so how would they even know? But they to me, because it was the last name and the not the wrong, but not the one I wanted, was in the last name field, I would not have used that ID. I would have said, I need something more.
Yeah, which I did, and she provided her Ecuador passport and cards.
There you go.
Yeah.
Whenever you can get another ID to substitute that meets your requirement, that's the first thing I go to.
Yeah.
It's really, I start questioning is when they can't give me ID that's going to support the name they want to use.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Joanne. That's a great question. Hey guys, I want to remind you, we've got about 10 minutes left in the call. I want to remind you about the free goal planning workshop that is happening on December 14th from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Pacific time. This is a Zoom call. And Jen, if you could post that in the chat, I would appreciate it. Perfect. Jen Cooper, who has faithfully supported us on this call for so long, is hosting this. It's a great way to really focus in on what you want your 2025 goals to look at. And like I said, it's my favorite price. It's free. So I encourage you guys to get signed up for that. Jen, you got a good crowd coming so far?
We have almost 300 people signed up for this.
Holy smokes, that's amazing.
It's going to be really good. It's going to be good to have that many people because we can all workshop our goals together. And so I hope you guys will come join the free call. You get your free PDF workbook download, and you're entered to win the Wendy DM's 2025 Notary Planner at the end of the workshop.
It's so cool, Jen. Thank you for doing this in support of this awesome notary community. And if you guys weren't around earlier, Marketing for Notaries, which is my business, I teach you how to market your business. is new. We've got some new stuff going on. We're moving over to the school platform. And if you are not a member and it's something that you are interested in getting that extra marketing support, please go check it out. It's only $124 to join right now, you guys. That's over 7 months for free for the year. So it's unbelievable value. It's normally $24.99 a month. So it's a good saving. So go check it out. You can find out more about personal coaching with me or getting with me by visiting my website, marketingfornotaries.com. Does anybody else have any questions for us today? We've got a lighter crowd than normal today, Laura. I guess everybody's on their way to Thanksgiving time.
Yeah.
Do we want to talk about Matt's thing December 5th?
Yes, and Teresa also has a question. Hang tight, Teresa. December 5th. Will you put that in the chat for me, Jen?
Yep.
He is going to have Nick Coville on his California League of Independent Notaries Roundtable. Nick is the creator of the Notary e-journal, which Laura and Jen and I are huge fans of. So that's a free call. You might want to go check that out. Teresa, tell us where you're calling from and what your question is.
Hi, I'm calling from Florida. My
Hi.
question is in regard to getting recommendations for a virtual business address and a separate business phone number for
Okay.
a notary business.
So why are you wanting a digital address?
Because I don't really want a lot of people knowing where I live.
Right.
I'm just a little like apprehensive about that.
Is this for your Google business profile?
Yeah.
Okay. So you have the option of sign and I'm going to tell you everything I know about this. I'm not the expert. Jim Allen is. If you have deeper questions, I highly encourage you to check out his class. The link will be put in the chat for you, Teresa. But I am not the GBP expert here. But what I do know is if you set yourself up as a service-based business, there's a little box you can check where you can put in your home address, but Google keeps it private and they don't share it. And you are a service-based business. So that way you don't have to get a digital address. What I'm seeing happening with people that are getting digital addresses is Google will not verify it because it is not a brick and mortar building. So people are spending money for these digital addresses and then they end up not using them. Google Business Phone or a secondary phone, you're the business owner, Teresa. So in my opinion, I'm gonna let Laura touch on this too. In my opinion, you don't need a second phone. That's just one more thing you got to catch up with. What you need to do is start answering your phone professionally with your business name for every call that comes in. That's more important than worrying about getting separate phones. Whether you know who's calling or not, you answer that phone. And if it happens to be spam, just hang up. But it's really kind of up to you, how you want to do it. Laura, what do you say about that?
I just have one phone. That's enough for me to handle.
And girl,
I just answer at your service, mobile notary, every time. Unless you're in my phone and I see your name. Otherwise, that's how I answer it. I looked at the separate number for a while and no, didn't work out for me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you
But some
so
like
much.
it. There are some that, Jen Cooper uses it. Cynthia in Montana says she uses it. So, I think it's a preference.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is. It's a preference. It's a budgetary thing.
Exactly.
I can barely keep up with the one phone I have. And I have never seen anybody's phone ring more than Laura Biewer's. You guys should travel with her sometime. It is.
Hot book.
Holy cow, you guys are calling her from like 7 a.m. until 10 p.m. Like, she's a rock star how she answers that phone. It's unbelievable. Jen, do you have something really quick for us before we wrap up today?
Yeah, the Google phone isn't a separate phone. It's a separate phone number and it links with your current phone. The reason I like it is when I set my schedule in my Google Calendar of my availability, if I'm not available, it automatically goes to my voicemail. That is very professional, but it also alerts me when somebody is calling through my business. So That's why I use it, but I would never use two phones. I know people who do, and I can't imagine managing it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
way too.
you know, the problem I had when I used it for a short time was that somebody used it, then they wanted to text me and they texted that number. And that number doesn't come to me when it's a text.
Mm.
It
And
does.
so I'm like,
Yeah.
what's going on? They didn't text me the address. And I called them back and they're like, well, I texted it an hour ago. So I had to let it go because it would not come through on text. And they're
Yeah.
like, well, this is
Well,
the
it won't-
number, not the
It
number.
won't come through. It won't come through regular text. You have to have the Google Business or the phone app on your phone. It goes to that phone app. That's where the text will show up. But yeah, you're right. It's not going to translate directly to your phone. There's issues.
It's really, it's a personal call. You know, it's a personal decision, based on what you want to do. I mean, that's as with anything, right? You know, I mean, we have laws and things we have to follow, but how you set your business up, that is entirely up to you guys.
And if you're at the beginning of your career, it might be different. I had already been a notary long before this kind of technology, and my phone number is on Yellow Pages. My phone number is on everything, everywhere known to man.
Yeah.
Why would I want to now put another phone number out there? So for me, that's one of the reasons why that didn't work for me.
And no shame in either game, right, Laura? Whether you want one phone or
Yeah,
three, like Celicia.
okay. Go for it.
Felicia's got 72 phones, some, you know, 3 of them. Yeah. Whatever works for you, right? That's the beauty of owning your own business. You can do what works for you.
Love that.
All right, guys, we are going to wrap up for this Thanksgiving week. From my family to yours, I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday full of lots of good food and laughter and fun, and family and friends and all the warm, good things. Have a great Thanksgiving. Laura, why don't you close this out today?
You know what? We've only got a couple days before we sit down to dinner with our friends, our family. So knock it out of the park while you got time, and then check out Thursday. I don't want anybody calling me Thursday.
That's right.
Hey, don't call me on Thursday. I'm expecting you to have a day off so I can have a day off.
Yeah, phones go away on Tuesday, right? Whether you got a Google business line or a regular one, or you got 5 phones or 0, everybody take the day off and enjoy your time. Thank you for being here this week. We look forward to seeing you guys next week on Tuesday Notary Titans. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.